Okay. Let's see, let me get a more interesting planet first. This is just kind of a bare planet. So here's my planet. And like Andrew said, it's all generated from a height map, which gives you a normal map, and then that gives you a map that controls what terrain or which detail textures are being used. And that's the final texture map. So that's the final planet. I'd like to show you a little bit about how I actually make a planet. Let me clear this all off. So the most basic way we have of making planets is to just put down, a single stamp. It gives me a lot of control, but it's really tedious to make a whole planet like this. And since we have 4 billion to go, it's going to take a while. So it's really much more efficient for me to put down a single tool that makes a whole bunch of different stamps that are varied in orientation and position. And you can see I can put down a whole bunch of these, and they're all slightly different. So I get a lot of coverage, and I get a lot of variability pretty cheap. I can also make things that dig into the height map to make oceans. I can have stuff that both digs into the terrain and it builds up on the terrain, so I can have these nifty craters that have oceans in the middle. If I want more control, I can have the brushes actually move along splines, so I can have these long continuous rivers. And I can even make brushes that take the base height map as a conditional. And so I can have these brushes that layer onto each other and then kind of do a little inversion thing, and you get these weird rippling effects. And as Andrew mentioned, this is all being done in Swarm, which is our particle system. So I have really good control over the paths that the particles are taking. So for example, this is a system where the particles only make 120-degree turns. You get these cool hexagonal patterns. All that means that I can make a lot of really cool brushes and really cool effects for the planets. That there's some that are terrestrial, and there are some that are a little stranger, things that you would never actually see on Earth, but it's really fun to encounter a planet that has this stuff. So here's my steampunk planet. Here's my baseball planet. And then I've got an organic planet as well. So I can get all sorts of really wacky effects with this. Okay, so now I'd like to show you actually some of my favorite finished planets. When I've put down a whole bunch of tools and decided that I like the planet that I've come up with, I can save that out as a planet script, and it'll start appearing in game. So I'll show you some of those. Let's see. Load. Oh, and the important thing about these is that they're also, well, they're not always great for playing creature game, but you could put a creature down on these and they can walk around. And you can actually go down all the way to the surface and see that there's interesting stuff happening here. Not so much on this one. This is kind of a flat planet. But also you can see that when I hit regen, seed, give it a different seed, it's always a slightly different planet because it's taking that seed as the value that controls the path along which all these effects are running. Let's see. So here's kind of an ice planet with frozen rivers. Here's a floral planet. Here's something that's a little bit more terrestrial, but it's also got lots of mesas and broad rivers. These all regenerate really fast. If you notice, they're each regenerating pretty much as I click on them. Something that's got kind of weird space-age craters. I can also make things that have sharp angles so that they look more technologic-y. really what I'm trying to do is just get planets so that each planet you go to, you feel like you've never been to that planet before. So here's one that just has a bunch of weird Aztec textures on it. And then, as Andrew showed you before, we had a bunch of the art-directed planets that we actually had somebody come in. Oops, that's not it. We actually had somebody come in to show us what a good planet would look like, and we actually managed to hit a lot of the targets. This is one of the pastry planets that guy had come up with. And let's see, the shiitake mushroom planet that he came up with as well. So we really managed to hit all the things that we wanted to. You can see that this is a really fun planet from the ground level. It'd be fun to walk around as a creature. And so we get a lot of variety just from the terrain scripts. We've also got all the temperature atmosphere stuff as well. So I can give this planet a really thick atmosphere or suck all the air out. I can also freeze it into an ice ball, or I can slowly heat it up and make it into a lava planet. All right, I think that's everything.